we're back once again. Smack Talk going down. Very special episode actually coming up this Saturday. We'll get into it a little bit later, but we are going to have 3 champs in the house. A special episode, Smack Talk Live. Damien DeBell, Anthony, Babyface Blackburn, and Robert are here. Are going to be here where I reside in Vancouver, Canada, coming up this Saturday. Wanted to drop that off right off the start. However, today, the live show that we've got right now that is streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. We are live. You're in the chat. Throw some W's up there. Let us know you're here. We appreciate all the support, whether you're watching it live or you're watching on playback after the recording is done. Man, we got a phenomenal show coming up. We're getting 1 week closer to Power Slap number 15. We've got Sedric joining us. I mean, Hector Lombard had incredibly high praise. The legendary Hector Lombard believes that this individual, Sedric, will be a future super heavyweight champion of the world. Can you get any higher stakes for a guy like that, my man? I mean, I know Hector was holding the pads for Sedric at the actual camp, so he's seen it firsthand what this guy has. As well, Luke Simonds coming on a little bit later in the show. He's going to break his silence. He's going to let us know what happened. He was scheduled a co-main event Power Slap number 15. That match is no longer taking place. Stevie Ray Ellis is in, facing Austin Turpin now. And last but not least, the Hawaiian Hitman, the current super heavyweight champion. Hopefully he's watching right now. I'm not sure we got a big enough camera or frame to fit, Sedric in, because this guy is one big human being. Incredibly excited to get to introduce him to the Slap News audience. Crazy story, Ding, was, there's probably 8 or 10 different tables, all round tables at the UFC Apex. And, grabbing my, my lunch and go sit down. I actually sat next to Sedric. So got to chat with him a little bit, get to know his background. A little bit more of a soft-spoken guy. But I think as the conversation went on, kind of opened up, and I didn't even realize he went to Rutgers, the same alma mater than you did. So you got that connection, Ding. I think you're going to like this guy, to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I already kind of got a bias for starting off to, right? Like you said, we're from the same area. Normally guys from the same area will mix. A big guy. And you saw him, obviously, in person, so you could speak to that a little bit better. But when I saw him, I was like, all right, that's a big boy. But again, he represents that new era of super heavyweights that doesn't look like they're not taking care of themselves. He's got a professional sports background, that he's at a college level at a minimum. And I mean, I don't want to say it too much yet because you guys haven't met him, but word has it, you might see some more of him.
Bringing him right in right now, or what's going on?
Well, no, I'm saying in 3 weeks' time, you might see some more of them.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. I mean, there's definitely, we know some people are getting phone calls, contracts are being made. That taped undercard for Power Slap 15 is starting to take shape and starting to fill out. Every seeming day we get more and more releases coming out. I mean, if you take a look at our social, we keep bringing you more news every single day. The fights are coming out now. And then I don't think it was last time it was public. We got 3 events in October. Saudi Arabia is now confirmed October 31st, Halloween. Is it going to be a trick or is it going to be a treat for us?
I mean, listen, I think the only concern I have with events going back to back, and I think we experienced this with 13 and 14, is it's kind of the shelf life of those knockouts that you have and those moments. It kind of, I guess it's more of a rapid decline, right? Because you think about it, you start ramping up for the next event very quickly. In the case, I'll be very interested to see how 16 and 17 go because they're exactly a week apart. So I don't know how long, a viral knockout at 16 is going to last on the internet, to be perfectly honest, because in a week you got another opportunity for more viral moments. So we'll see if this is a great thing or if it's, quote unquote, a social killer. It will give them a lot of ability to release, tape fights that people have never seen before at some point in the future. But again, one of the things we've been talking about, and we said that at a minimum, we expected 66 or so athletes to have the opportunity to compete in the next 3 or 4 months before the end of the year. They did us one better, and it looks like 66 athletes are going to be able to compete before the end of October.
Yeah. I mean, ask me how many interviews I did yesterday.
How many interviews did you do yesterday? 15?
15, buddy.
Wow.
Thanks to you.
Incredible. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. I just start sliding
15
people.
solid. 15
Awesome.
solid. So let's
All right,
get
well,
into it.
yeah, without further ado, let's introduce the man, the what's the word I want to use here? The Rutgers University alumni, New York's own, Sedric. My man, how are you? Welcome
Uh,
to Slap News and welcome to Smack Talk.
Thank you, thanks for having me. For sure.
So, first order of business. About 2 weeks ago, you participated in something that to us here in the slap community is newer. Started earlier this year with the first training camp, and I believe March or April. And it's been extremely successful. So you were part of the third iteration of what they call the training camp or the combine. So talk to me about your experience. What were your thoughts? What did you take away from it? What did you see in some of the other athletes? What was it like meeting Hector Lombard and having him, have a lot of respect for you and have good things to say about your future?
Yeah, it was definitely a great experience. I watch a lot of power slap, but I didn't really understand like the rules completely. So when we went there, they broke down the rules, gave us a complete good understanding of what actually goes on, what you have to do to be successful. And I really enjoyed the experience.
Talk to me about Hector Lombard. He seemed to take a liking to you more than an average person might. He even said that he thought you'd be a future champion, which is, I mean, I think by all accounts, a rarity that we see from somebody who's dabbled in so many different combat sports.
Yeah, for
What'd
sure.
you think of that?
Yeah, it was great, man. I appreciate that dude. Super cool dude, super down to earth. I appreciate the high praise. Later that evening he followed me and I got to see what all the stuff he actually gets into, and it's crazy. Like the next day I told him like, yo, you a bad dude. So it was definitely a great experience. I definitely appreciate him working with me, taking the time, the high praise words. I definitely appreciate all of it.
Yeah, it's not every day you're training with somebody and then you look on Instagram and you see they got, virtually 1 million followers and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's somebody for
Didn't
sure. For
expect that.
sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, awesome, man. So talk to me. You're a super heavyweight. How tall are you?
6'4".
Okay. How much do you weigh?
Around 350 to 360 in that range.
And you went to Rutgers, as I mentioned. Talk
Yeah.
to me about Rutgers. You were playing football.
Yeah,
What was
yeah. I
your
was
thing?
playing football. I played offensive line at Rutgers. Yeah. I
For how
transferred to
many years?
Rutgers out of junior college. I went to Monroe College here in North Shell. Then I transferred to Rutgers my third year.
Oh, so you're from New Rock City.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And you went to Rutgers in what, Newark or New Brunswick?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. Okay. All right. What did you graduate with?
Labor and management relations degree.
And you are not. Are you doing
No
that? Are
way.
you interested in that?
Not anymore. I at the time looking back on it, I wish I, actually took it serious. But I had all my eggs in one basket. I wanted to play football for the rest of my life, so I wasn't really too worried about the school side. So that was just something I did just to, stay eligible, to be able to play football.
For sure. So talk to me about what happened. Why is football off the table? It sounds like.
Um, you know, uh, I graduated 2023. That was my last season. I just wasn't selected. Things just didn't fall through as I wanted them to. So that's pretty much it. It just wasn't selected. Just gotta move on.
So how do we get here? You said you watched Power Slap. Were you watching it before you applied to participate?
Yeah, 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 definitely. I watch it every night. It's funny because one night I was watching it and I said to myself, I'm like, "Yo, you probably be pretty good at this. I think I could. I think I could do this." So I reached out via Instagram to the Power Slap Instagram, and my exact message was, "Give me a shot. I could slap fire with the best of them." So I was from the gate very confident, and I know what I can do.
All right, talk to me about that confidence. Obviously, I know you're from the Northeast, so I imagine
Yeah,
you've gotten in a scrap or two on the street.
yeah, definitely
Talk to
confident
me
for
about why
sure.
you're confident in your chin.
I just know I took a couple shots playing football. You got to be physically and mentally tough to play football. Period, especially at the level that I did. You know, so a little bit of that carries on. And just stays with you. So where it stems from.
And I'm gonna put you in the tough predicament.
What's
So
up?
the way that it works generally, is, and I'm not insulting intelligence here. I'm just, if you haven't gotten this rendition of how it works. So there's tape matches every time there's an event. Generally, the purpose of that is it's almost like a live training ground. So it's almost like, a live firing exercise before you actually go and shoot.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
there's a tiny crowd. I won't say no crowd because I don't want to be offensive to the
Mhm.
people who are in the crowd, which is generally us. And there's a lot more controllable elements so that you have the opportunity to shake the cobwebs off. Usually,
Mhm.
Power Slap doesn't officially announce that. It's not something that it gets publicized and a lot of spotlight on. Meaning those matches will kind of make it to the internet at some point, just as part of the card, but it's not anything crazy. So usually those matches just kind of come out when they come out. So I will ask you, do you know anything about your future in Power Slap specifically as it relates to, as we mentioned, there's going to be 3 cards coming up in the next month. Could we see Cedric's debut on one of those cards?
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely likely. They have reached out to me. We're still figuring out some things. A lot of behind the scenes stuff, but it's very likely. I think you guys can get a chance to see me in action very soon.
Amazing, Corey.
Yeah, Cedric, like I said, being able to see you there, talk to me. I mean, 40 people at the combine, it's very easy for people to kind of, just assimilate, kind of blend in.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the mentality that you brought into that combine and what you did to really try to stand out to eventually, get that contract.
Yeah. So I would say I'm like a sponge. So I absorb information very quickly. So the techniques and everything they were showing us, I picked it up quick. So it made me look more like it was natural. Look like I done it my whole life, I would say. So I
Mhm.
think that's what really made me stand out, is that how I looked doing it, how accurate I looked, and things of that nature. So like I feel as though it's because I look natural performing it. The technique that they teach us.
Yeah, it's funny. So, like, Ding, who's in the middle, also from that New York, New Jersey area, there's definitely a different bravado that comes with, growing up in that region of the world. I tell you, you have that
Yeah, you gotta
confidence.
be tough. Yeah.
Seems to be New York versus the world. So I know you're not lacking, that confidence, and I know you're willing to go up there against the likes of anybody in that super heavyweight division. Once Steven Rousey, and I don't know if you remember or not, but during our conversation, I said there was an athlete, and I forgot his name for a moment. It was Steven Rousey, who was, a left tackle as well. I believe it was actually for Northwestern. He went up against McKinney Manu. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to watch that fight or not. It was a tape fight. He came in very similar, to presumably how you'll come in to the actual, the league itself. How do
Mhm.
you feel that grind of a football season, taking on being in the trenches with other men of the same size of you or bigger is going to help prepare you? Because I mean, we know football is a very, tough and rough game. There's head on head collisions, there's crown of the helmet to your chin, there's all types of, slashes and everything else that kind of comes along with playing there. How do you think that is going to help translate into power slap?
I don't think it translate much, but I am currently working out. I'm definitely practicing my technique every day. Just trying to be as prepared as I can be. But as far as football wise, it's nothing like football. I don't think it's close to anything like football, except for like you got to be mentally tough. But other than that, I just think that me preparing on my own now is what's going to prepare me for the future.
So, how are you preparing right now?
Yeah, I'm working out 3 times a week. I'm practicing my technique each day, whether it's for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm recording it, trying to perfect my technique, because I believe that technique is very important within this, like within competing. So I'm just working on my technique, getting stronger, strengthening my neck, just working on balance, stability, and all that, all those things.
Yeah. Is there anybody that's helping you get ready, or is there any style in power slap you're trying to emulate?
No, I'm not really trying to emulate anything. I'm just trying to do what's natural, what feels right to me, and just go from there and just build off of that.
Gotcha. If you were to describe your slap in this moment, how would you do it?
Electrifying.
More power or precision?
I feel like it's the perfect combination of both.
Awesome. Let's see the mitt. I want to see how big that thing is. Gotta see. Put it on your face. I want to see
Yeah,
the
I was
optics.
gonna say, yeah. Can you make it relative?
There we go.
Yeah.
Dude, is your head small or your hand big? I'm not sure which one.
I wore an extra large helmet, so
Okay.
yeah.
There we go. Did they measure your hand span? Do you remember what it was?
I believe it was close to 10 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I mean, it's exciting times. Like we said, there's 3 events coming up. I know we don't want to get you in trouble and say anything that isn't signed, sealed, delivered at this particular moment. But I think you're, a very budding prospect in the league. I look forward to seeing you up there on stage and what you're going to bring. And I mean, that super heavyweight, I'm not sure if you've seen last week's show or not, but that super heavyweight division right now is truly primed to be the next breakout division. There's going to be a lot of movement within the division, I think. And, the title's changed hands, a number of times this year already. So going to be pretty excited. If anybody in the chat has any questions for Sedric before we let him go, otherwise we'll have him on here for another, 45 to 60 seconds. But if anybody wants to know anything, Sedric, where can people follow you if they want to on social?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at ced.juice, ced.juice. Yeah, that's pretty much the only social I have.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Are you going to start putting more slap content up there now?
Yeah. Once I start taking pictures, start getting the good pictures and stuff like that, I'm gonna make some announcements on there as well. So you could definitely follow me there for updates.
Awesome, man. This makes sense to you?
No. So I played for Coach Greg Schiano.
That's interesting. Cole Smith knows something about the Northeast there.
I think didn't Cole play in Kansas somewhere? I'm either maybe K-State. I think
He'll say it for sure.
Yeah, I think he played K-State.
Nate, to answer your question, Cedric, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're 6'4", between 350 and 365 pounds, something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's big boy, not in your division. Played for a demon.
I mean, dude, you actually
you got your homies in the chat.
Yeah, you have some support for you, dude.
So the guys.
Nice, man. Awesome, Sedric. All right, man. We'll let you go. Appreciate you, spending time catching up here. I know this is your official debut on Slap News. I'm sure once you get rocking here, we'll be talking to you again real soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, ding. There we go.
Wow, we're on time. That's crazy.
First time in a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. So why don't we let's keep on with the tradition.
Hold on a second.
No.
We did a little segue here. I like this kid. You know what? I think he's got a bright future, man. I hope he gets an opportunity relatively quickly here, and we can see what he do. I think Stephen Rousey didn't get a fair shake. I mean, going up against McKinney Manu in your first match, hopefully we see him at some point. But I tell you, these guys are almost splitting images of each other. Sedric might actually be a little bit more athletic, even so. We'll see.
Yeah. That's where I disagree. I think he is more athletic. Like I mean,
and same makeup.
Same makeup. You want to say like inner city metro? They got that in common. Steven, I think, is a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
But
they're tough.
They're both big dudes. But I just think Sedric spends more time in the gym.
Well, we also, we've kind of seen those champions be in that, 385 to 400 range. I mean, the Crazy Hawaiian at his peak was pushing, to a 420 even. We'll see. I don't think we haven't seen a champion. Well. We haven't seen a champion at that 355 range. So we'll see.
He reminds me, and I'll never live this down because I thought that this was the guy. He reminds me of Evian Scott, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I think that's probably more close to his makeup. And Evian's got the football background also, but these guys are all big.
Like Evian's leaner though. I mean, as if you call him a lean human, but he's lankier and leaner. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think ultimately the heart, the determination, the drive, the will, the want to win, I think will, separate, the guys from the bottom of the pack to the top. So we'll see what Sergice has inside of him.
100%. Let's move on to our next guest. As we mentioned at the top of the show, he was to be opposite Austin Turpin at Powerside 15 coming up here on October 3rd in the co-main event. Most recently was on the wrong side of a TKO against Alan Klingbeil at Powerside 13, June 27th. He was looking for his redemption story. Unfortunately, it doesn't start at Powerside 15. He is the one and only Luke Simonds. Luke!
Yo, how's it going, guys?
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Just to let you know, my signal's messed up to where I can't see y'all, but I can hear y'all. So
I promise we look the same as the last time you saw us. So it's good news.
cool.
All right, well, welcome. I think, I'd be remiss if I didn't sort of address the elephant in the room. I appreciate and acknowledge that very likely you're going to tell me to go fuck myself, but I will attempt to, entertain the chat and ask, what can you say about why you are not going to be competing against Austin Turpin in just a couple of weeks here?
I can't say why. I can just say I wanted to, and I was trying to make it still happen, but things out of my control, or to why I can't compete. I'm healthy. I'm doing good for the most part. I'm back home in Georgia in the meantime, so just working on myself, and but I'm confident I'll be back. Um, that's all I can really say.
Totally respect that, bro, and I appreciate that. A little more on the lighthearted side.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you found out that Stevie Ray Ellis, because you guys obviously, were in the house together, but he wasn't in your division, and I don't think anybody ever thought he was big enough to be in your division, and suddenly, for whatever reason, he's the guy that is now, going to have this massive opportunity where he's got only upside, it feels like. What was your reaction to that news?
I mean, I was shocked, to be honest. Um, but I'm happy for him and that he's got this opportunity. And in Power Slap, everyone's got a chance to knock somebody out. So um, the way I look at it is, Power Slap does like Turpin and his characters. So I mean, since I'm not able to go against him, me and Turpin are both really good guys that Power Slap would love to push. It seems like they're just wanting to give Turpin easier highlight, but you can't sleep on Stevie. I mean, you never know. It's Power Slap, so I'm super excited for him. Um, but yeah, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be rude or nothing. Like, his performance on the show was not something that stood out, other than his craziness entertainment wise. Like that part was it was good. It was a little much, but it's still entertainment. So I mean, if anything, it's kind of bad for Austin because he's got so much to lose in this fight. So really, I wouldn't want to take the fighting away if I was Terp. So
That's a good way to look at it, man. Yeah, if Austin Turpin's calling you a lunatic and saying that they got you at the mental institution,
oh
let's
yes,
just say
he-
something, because Turpin's a wild boy. So
yeah.
and it's interesting that there's that history. I will say it's funny because Turpin was your coach on the show,
Mhm.
and he was also Stevie's coach on the show. So I think that's an interesting,
Yeah.
connection there. Is
They want
that
to stick with that narrative, I guess, coach versus whatever you call it, athlete, or but yeah. Um I don't know. But yeah, that fight is always there for me and Turpin in the future. Um as long as things play out like I believe they will. Um and I'm really upset because Power Slap's my passion. I really want to make this fight, especially being on the poster as a co-main event. So, but I mean, I'm just looking at it as like it's in God's hands and it happened for a reason. And with what happened in the fight against Allen, to where I got TKO'd or KO'd. It was somewhere in between TKO and a KO. I don't know what they ruled it as, but I was still trying to get back up. But I was definitely concussed, so at least my brain has more time to heal. Like I would have had like 3 months in between that and the fight against Turpin. So now we'll see how long it's gonna be, but now I'm a lot more confident when I do come back and taking shots.
Yeah, I mean, I want to oblige the chat here, and again, I appreciate if you can't discuss this, but one, the King of Kings, Ryan Phillips, is asking to clarify. So you're saying you didn't back out, you were pushed out, meaning of the match.
uh, those aren't the best words to explain it, but it'll all make sense in time. So, and then the comeback story is going to be like it's gonna build a lot of hype, I believe. So, I mean, everyone just needs to trust me. I'll DM you personally. I have some people I have DM'd personally about what actually happened, but it just has to. I just have to make my moves slow and like a chess game right now, and everyone will know, and it'll all make sense in the future.
And of course, I always want to read positive messages from one Nate Bernard. God bless you, Luke. Thank you for keeping it real with yourself, not going up there when you're not 100% to just chase a bag. Many people need to make sure they're straight first. Real one, thank you and be well.
Yeah. Thanks, Nate. I mean, yeah, I'm 100% mentally. I mean, maybe I don't know if my brain healed fast enough since that last fight or not, but I was gonna do it. But yeah, just things happened out of my control, and you know, really, I mean, God's having stuff happen the way it's happening for a reason. Um, yeah, but I'm super hungry. I'm super excited. And even if I never fought in power slap again, I mean, I'm gonna keep moving forward. There's things I still want to do, like arm wrestling. I might do bodybuilding. So no matter what, I'm still gonna do some type of sport that's pushing me physically. And while I'm in my prime, I want to be the strongest and best I can be until I'm like, past like 35, 40. It just depends on what it looks like. But because there's things in life people say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I'm like, I can always do that when I'm older. So I want to see what I'm capable of physically.
Luke, I mean, 28 years old. Hard to say that you're not in the center of your prime. I want to clarify. I mean, you talked about arm wrestling, you talked about bodybuilding. Does that mean you're taking a step away from power slap for a prolonged period of time?
I don't know yet. It could be like I could be back. I would say, let's see, geez, I could be back by power slap 18, or it could be in over a year. I don't know yet. I really don't know, but I hope it's sooner than later. Um, yeah, I mean, or I might do arm wrestling and power slap at the same time at some point. I don't know. I mean, I want to do bodybuilding at some point, but I don't want to do bodybuilding unless I do open bodybuilding, and I can't do that because you have to be natural for power slap. So that's on the back burner. Um, but yeah, I don't like bodybuilding naturally to where you diet down so lean that your hormones crash. Like I don't think it's worth it. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all out.
Luke is one of the most honest people I've ever met in my entire life, man, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, firsthand, I know very well about natural bodybuilding and open bodybuilding and what goes along with that. There's definitely a different look that is associated. Both of them have in their own merit, their own right, different challenges and different obstacles that need to come along. But
Yeah.
that's a whole other topic for another day and probably a different podcast than this one in particular. And Yeah, maybe one day we'll see that rendition of Luke Simonds up there eventually. But I
Yeah.
mean, you talked about Luke Simonds being, or sorry, Austin Turpin being a guy that the organization likes. In a lot of ways, man, I think you're that same guy. Power slap 10,
Yeah.
power slap 11. You had the world in your hands. Power slap 13. You compete as well. We're seeing a lot of you this last little bit. In some ways, I know you're very much a, religious person, and, you're very much about God's plan and God first. And, do you think this is, I'll just say it. Do you think this is God's way of just saying, like, you need to slow down, you need to kind of take a bit of time after this last loss to Alan Klingbeil and, get your shit right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, I put so much eggs in one basket and focused on power slap so much that other areas of my life suffered. And I mean, I've always been that way. And it's like you almost kind of have to be that way to an extent if you want to be the best in the world. But there is some balance that can go into it. I mean, there's some great champions right now like Wolverine, Robert Trujillo, um, Damien DeBell. Like I don't know their lives from the outside looking in completely, but they do hold themselves to a good high standard. Like to be champion, it's not just about being the best power slapper on the stage. Your life needs to be at least somewhat together off the stage, and people don't realize that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because one thing will affect the other thing.
Awesome, man. Just a couple more from me. What advice would you give Stevie Realis going up against Austin Turpin?
Let's see. I mean, don't be scared. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be scared. I mean, it is different fighting in front of a live crowd. Um, but don't doubt yourself. Like all you gotta do is hit the ball of his chin. Um, and you don't need much power. Austin Turpin, he's not like the biggest frame dude, but he's got some power. But the way he hits is such a finessing type of hit. So I mean, I would say go up there, really make sure your technique is good, and have confidence in it, and just land where you know you're supposed to. Don't be too deep, don't be too high. Keep your eye on the chin the whole time, and if you hit it right, be confident he's gonna go out.
Mhm. I mean, I'm sure you've done some film study on Austin Turpin, how you're going to game plan for him.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any weakness in Austin's game? Is there any holes that you think Stevie could exploit?
I do think my defense with my chin tuck to the extent that they'll let me do it. I feel like because my chin is smaller, I think if I did it right, the way he strikes wouldn't work on me because he would clip a lot of my neck. So I was very confident in taking his strike and striking him because like I have really good accuracy and then just as much power with it. So
Mhm.
um I don't remember the question exactly, but
It's all good, man. It's all good. I just want to clarify one thing because the chat is going crazy and everything else. So I don't want you to go down a rabbit hole and wake up in the morning and have a bunch of propaganda out there. If
oh
you had to
yeah.
piss in a cup today, would you pass the drug test?
Yes, that's not an issue. That is
All
not an
right, all
issue.
right.
I'm
I
actually smaller right now. Um if anyone looks at my last little workout video I posted, you can tell I'm a little smaller and flatter. Yeah, nothing to do with that for sure.
All
I
right. Well, I
mean,
just wanted to make sure that nothing's people watching this back, seeing these
yeah.
comments, any misinterpretation as to what's
Yeah, I
going on.
get it because I mean, people are trying to rule out and figure out what happened, and just like people, I don't want to say too much, but it's very unexpected for me, mind-boggling, and just But I appreciate everyone who's reached out to me in the DMs, mostly the other power slap athletes. Y'all have been so um, loving and kind towards me and like a family. I appreciate all of y'all because I have went through some really, really rough times recently, similar or even worse maybe than the times when I was 19 and my mom passed away. So that there's just some stuff going on, but it's making me stronger. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be I wouldn't want to be my opponent. Whoever has to face me next when I come back, I wouldn't want to be my opponent. That's all I can say.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you joining us, catching up, giving a little more clarification.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Stay lethal, my man.
Hey, y'all, stay lethal. Love y'all.
Take care, bud. All right, ding. There we go. One Luke Simonds out. Stevie Ray Ellis in. Stevie, you can't say I never did anything for you. Listen to the words of one Luke Simon doing a little film for you.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful by any means, but can you imagine if Stevie Ray Ellis beats Austin Turpin? Like, I think Luke said it best. This is power slap, and anything's possible. But I think most people. Well, sorry.
What are the odds open up in Vegas on that match?
I would say Austin Turpin minus 600 or 700. Like it's, yeah. I mean, he's the problem. There's a few problems. It's Austin Turpin at his. I mean, I don't want to say at his weight. I know everybody's gonna jump down my throat if I say that, but at a weight class that he's competed at before. Oh, and I fully believe he will compete at on October 3rd. Stevie's never competed at this weight. This is big for him. Stevie also has never competed against a top contender in power slap who's had, multiple title opportunities. And although it was at a different weight, beat the current champion in that division and went 5 rounds with him in another fight. He's got a lot of knockouts. He's angry, way more experience. He's been in front of a crowd. Stevie hasn't been in front of a crowd. Stevie has not participated in slap fighting since May of 2024. Like, this guy's got everything against him. And I think that's the best part of the story, is if he can become victorious here, like that's the craziest way for this to all go. Yeah, I'm with Seekman. I think minus 700 or something like that. Just because it's still power slap. That's what it comes down to. Like, even the most dominant champions don't open up at minus 1,200. Corey, can you remember a time where there was some crazy odds? It's not that bad. It's never that big.
No.
So I think 700 is probably the highest you'll see it.
Let me ask you this. Would it be the biggest upset in history?
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It would be absolutely. I think the only other upset that could have rivaled it was Jackie Sheena, but Jackie lost technically. So it doesn't really qualify as an upset. But yeah, this would be the craziest upset in history. But again, as we said, we're on time, which is bizarre. I know some people believe that he's not going to make weight, and I respect that outlook. I would just advise you to talk to Austin Turpin, and he'll send you photos of where he's at. It looks like he's going to make weight. I'm just being honest. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It is what it is. I don't know. I mean, I get it if you don't like the guy, whatever the case is, but if he misses weight at light heavyweight again, probably not going to look good for his future at 205.
Let's put a bet on this. If he misses weight, Ding, you need to streak down the strip in Vegas naked.
Okay.
Come on.
Don't be telling everybody out here that you want to see me on the strip naked.
I don't. But you need some juice in this. You're confident he's going to make weight.
That's crazy. That's bizarre. Why don't we start with something like shaving your facial hair? Why don't we do that? If Austin Turpin misses weight, you shave your facial. No, I'm sorry. I'll shave my facial hair, all of it. If he makes weight, then you shave your facial hair, all of it.
Yeah, I'm not as guy. I'm not going to bat and say.
Things gotta go.
In the chat. This is between you and the chat. This isn't between me.
Okay, I'll do you a better one. If he misses weight, I'll shave my whole face. Okay? Is that fair?
I think he's actually going to make weight, but yeah. Anyways, so I'm with you. It's you versus the chat. It's you versus the chat. That's what it is. But anyway,
what's the definition of insanity? Cody, He's gonna make weight, bro. I believe that. I believe that.
All right, let's go. You say you want to be on time.
Yeah, we're on time. So, as we promised, he is theoretically, right, and being the biggest champion that there is, the baddest man on the planet, just became the champion a few months ago on June 27th, avenging the loss of the championship belt earlier this year of his brother, the crazy Hawaiian. He, goes on to get redemption over the Dumpling, the slap fighting legend, the guy who got Dana White into, slap fighting as a sport and the reason that Power Slap exists. We haven't heard from him in a while. There's a match coming up at Power Slap 16 in Abu Dhabi between the former champion and a contender. And we don't really know what's going on with the champion. So we brought him here so we can all ask him. He is none other than the super heavyweight champion of the world, the Hawaiian Hitman. There he is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blessed
How
to
are
be
you,
here.
brother?
Thank you, Malo. I'm good. Been good. This been out of the limelight, but that's my bad, for not capitalizing. But the ball's rolling. The ball's rolling for me. But to be honest, I ain't got no information on a slap fight. So I was hoping to be on one this month, but it's right. The stars are aligning for me to hold the belt a little bit longer. And
Yeah, man,
in
I
the
mean-
future, I'll still hold the belt as well. So
Yeah. So I think first things first. There's an event coming up, or we just announced there's 3 events in October before Halloween in North America. On the second event, October 24th in
Big
Abu
month, big
Dhabi,
month.
Power Slap 16, there's going to be your former foe, the former champion. The Dumpling is going to take on your fellow Polynesian.
Bikini.
Obviously, he's
Yes, sir,
Samoan, but
Bikini.
Bikini Manu.
Roly, roly.
Why do you think that's the match? Why is that what they went with?
You know what? I think that they're just trying to piece together if it's if like for me, I think they're trying to find me a real opponent that probably could take me out, or that's what they're probably thinking or something. That's what I'm thinking. Like they're trying to find me a worthy opponent for my next one, but I would gladly take anybody. And me and Danny was out the other night too, so he was like, why don't you call me out? But I found out he had something coming up, and I just wish them all luck and everybody on this month coming up, October, and everybody. I wish for everybody luck. Good slap fights. The least amount of damage they can take, the better for me, so I can take them on as soon as possible.
So with that matchup taking place at about a month from now, who do you think comes out on top? Obviously, McKinney's been around for a while,
Right.
sort of circling. Was passed up last year at Power Slap 8. Danny got the opportunity against your brother. He came up short. Koa dominated him. I think everybody kind of agrees with
that's
it.
round. Yes, sir.
And the question was why not McKinney? That kind of got extended for a longer period of time because he needed those performances. Let's just kind of call it what it was. And he had the Stephen Rousey knockout at Power Slap 12. Then he had the
and then
Dwayne knockout at Power Slap 14, which was massive and went
That's
viral many different times for many different reasons. And now,
props.
yeah, now he's kind of knocking at the doorstep here, going against the former champion in theory for what would be a number 1 contender fight. So, what do you think happens October 24th between those two guys?
Really, I think what happens is McKinney's toughest opponent, to date from right now is the Dumpling, and to be honest, it's the Dumpling is the legend for a reason, and he's been in there for a while, and he only lost against Zales and me. So really, draw with my brother, but I think McKinney has the toughest opponent yet, and if he can make something else happen, or like kind of get go on a streak of knocking out people, and I think that would be a worthy opponent for me as well. So, and I would like to take somebody on the top 5 level. So anybody in top 5. I'm not trying to take on nobody else out of the ranks and stuff, but really like top 5, top 6. So whoever makes the best and whoever Frank and Erica finds worthy that they want to make a main event out of it. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe, if not the beginning of next year or something, or that'll be a one for the books to start it off. And if I can pull it off, I'm gonna use my left hand. Well, I will pull it off. Anybody, doesn't matter, Dumpling or McKinney. I just want to get back in there, and I wanna be in the limelight too, because I love that part of it, not the kind of sitting around, but that, hey, we got things planned. And actually, I just signed for Williams Sports Management, Curtis Williams. So I just signed, me and my brother. We just signed with him, and big things are happening, and I'm just waiting for opportunities to come my way. And the Manu, if Manu pulls it off, I would gladly welcome Manu in. But that would be his toughest opponent to date, and he's difficult. Dumpling is a legend for a reason, so he's a little difficult. And if he could pull it off, I'll give him props, and I'll give him that shot as well. So, but hey, that I would love to be there. That's my main thing. Like, they got to go Dubai, and I've been to Saudi Arabia, but Dubai is another level. I heard, like, just to be there and experience, and like, you don't even have to leave the hotel, they said. So,
there you go. All right, well, congratulations on the
I
management
appreciate you guys having
deal.
me on. Yeah.
That's good stuff. I'm glad to hear that there's some
yes.
things in the works. Excited to hear more about what that is. But you're skirting my question a little bit. I'm not gonna let you off the hook, my man. I like you, but I'm not gonna let you dodge it. Who's winning? You keep saying if McKinney can get it done. So who's walking out with a victory October 24th, in your opinion?
I think it probably would be even. Like, if I'm leaning towards Dumpling, just because he probably gonna step it up this time, and kind of take it serious, because I read his wife's comments and stuff like that, and the wife was kind of egging him to take the fight or something, and the wife feels like it's his fault, or it's her fault. And I know Dumpling is, he's technical like that, so he probably would, step it up and stuff. And but I'm riding for Manu as well too. So, like, hey, whatever outcome it is, I'm with it. I'm with it. But honestly, Dumpling is a tough opponent for Manu, and honestly, I'm riding for my guys. All the Paulies and all of us. So honestly, my thing is Manu. I would rather take on Manu than, because I already went up against Dumpling, and everybody's seen how that goes. Because if he would have took a clean one from me, instead of move, oh man, I think he would have got rocked or something on that first couple slaps.
So what's tougher about the Dumpling, his offense or his defense?
Actually, his defense, because it's like how the other guy was telling me, that you gotta make him, or make the refs kind of, like, fight for position, because a lot of times he don't speak English, so it's a barrier right there. So he probably gets away with raising his shoulder or moving forward and stuff like that. So, and they don't really call it, because there's to be honest, this is a new sport, new everything. So if he can get away with those things, he probably will do it again. And that's what kind of makes him more difficult, I would say, because the target is, it varies, the target, because he does move.
Yeah, for sure. I'll ask one final question, and I'll turn it over to Corey. What were your thoughts? I'm not sure if you saw this even, but Dwayne Crespo announcing his retirement. Obviously, I know there's no love lost between you and your former opponent.
No.
What was your thought on that?
No, my thought is don't kind of props to him, because don't put yourself out there again. If you're not, if he came back and like that type of deal. If he comes back again and get knocked out potentially, don't put yourself through that or something like that. So, I give him props for at least doing that, because there's other ways to make it happen, or maybe more down the line, he maybe, come back and compete again or whatever. But I would say, hey, that was a surprise to me that he would do that, because I was thinking he would come back. Some way, somehow, he'd come back.
Dane, do you think that, you sitting out the next 3 events, obviously, Power Slap loves to run back the champions, keep them active, keep them busy. Is it one, are you currently suspended? Is it 2, do you think it's more so just waiting for a rival opponent, or 3, did you turn on a match? I'm surprised to hear that you're not going to card anytime
I'm just
soon.
waiting. I'm waiting, but Frank did give me a call, but when I called him back, he didn't call me back as well, so I'm just waiting, But to be honest, I would take anybody, but I'm not taking anybody new. I want to give the guys in the ranks a chance and fight the people in the ranks. To give honor to them too. Because they've been coming through it and fighting as well. So, and to be honest, they're trying to, like how you say, the Makini and Dumpling. That's probably a opponent that they're looking at, or the next winner. So that's what I'm thinking. But when you guys announced the Saudi Arabia, I'm like, man, that's like 7 days away. So they can't take no damage or anything, or
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, put me on that Saudi too, at least. Come on.
Pretty funny, man. When you get to the top of the mountain and you hold that belt, everybody is gunning for you. How do you stay up there when everybody else is trying to gun for your head?
Man, it's not only that. Even the devil, the enemy, is for my head too. But I gotta stay strong. I gotta keep myself, rooted and grounded in God's word. And I already know people been coming for my head. So I end up getting hurt, and my hand, like I hurt my hand on Dumpling, but when I was training, I hurt my hand too as well, my right hand. So I'm just trying to heal from that. And my left hand is 150% my left hand. So I believe I still can defend myself with just the left hand.
Yeah, we've seen you use both hands in competition. If you were to create the ideal super heavyweight power slap fighter, how would you do it? I want you to mix defense, offense,
in any
build.
in any weight class, or just
the super heavy. How would you build the ideal slap fighter? Like if you're building a video game and you were going to build the ideal slap fighter, how would you build it?
I would like, to be honest, just the fundamentals: big hands, like not so big as a body, but just big hands, big limbs, and a tall stature for like 6'2", just to compete against the different sizes, and really probably my strength or my brother's chin or stuff like that. So I'll probably put all those together. Yeah, like a Paulie, but a tall Paulie, because you see a lot of Paulies, small Paulies, like maybe just like Kalani. But
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
just gonna say
like
that.
Kalani, almost like a Kalani, but just way more faster and just deadly. Like like maybe my left hand strength when I went up against Slap for Cash. Just that strength right there, that slap that put him out in each and every slap that he does. That would be my main character, or my main all around slap fighter if I could create one.
Yeah, you brought up Slap for Cash. Do you think you were just that much better, or do you think that Slap for Cash is better than we believe he is and deserves a second opportunity?
So yeah, he probably thinks he's better than he is, but to be honest, I had a car accident like a month and a half right before going up against him, and I blew my whole right arm, blew my hand, blew my shoulder, everything out, and I would use my left, and I could only use my left hand, like to even use the bathroom. I had to wipe, I had to do everything with just the left hand, like, and that's where probably you know, like the Karate Kid, like everything is karate, you know, everything you do is karate, or like, you know, so I'm like, I have to eat, I have to do everything with the left hand, and
Yeah.
at that time I was built too. I was built solid because I was going boxing classes. I was doing all kinds of stuff with my uncle and this other guy. You know, this other guy. We used to go to the park. We used to go train, and it was boxing classes I was doing. So imagine me gaining that speed and power. That's probably where it came from. Me doing those boxing classes, and when I hit, actually when I hit slap for cash, the first one, honestly, it was no power at all. That I just hit him regular. But the second slap I hit him, that was like 95% with my technique, you know, and stuff like that. So that was like that was an ideal slap, like an ideal left hand. Anybody, you know, for everybody, all weight classes.
Yeah. One last one for me. I was able to indulge in a little Matiki Island barbecue last time. I was down there in Vegas. Is it Hawaiian approved or what?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. They the only thing they probably gotta work on is the chicken maybe, but the beef and the ribs. Oh man, it's like I would pay the $30 for that plate.
Okay. And their mac salad, does it hold up to your standard?
Pretty much, but we don't eat. Well, we eat more steak and stuff like that, you know, for us and for our family. But they're all about their ribs, you know, the beef ribs and stuff. So
yeah,
that's like their main thing. If they had a couple more things on their menu to make it just a tad bit better, but the Matiki's Island Grill is one of the top. I would say one of my top fives.
Man, I appreciate you joining us, getting into it, having a little fun, and hopefully see you back real soon.
Yes, cool.
Take care, man.
Aloha. Thank you, guys.
All right, Ding. Little fun with the Hawaiian.
Man, I'm blown away that we're just on schedule, like perfect.
Dude, it only took us 74 shows.
Well, I think this is number like 78 or some shit, so I think a little more than that. But talking about numbers, probably an hour before we went live, I remember more like 45 minutes. We posted that Dana White revealed that there's been a total of, or the pot of money that has been allocated to the purses that pay the athletes that compete in Power Slap to date has surpassed $10 million. So in 14 events, countless matches, countless talent, the shows, there's been over $10 million spent, is what the founder and owner of Power Slap has stated. Corey, I know you did some fast math on this, and there's what did you say the payroll would be on average per event, if that's the case?
Be about 700,000 plus per event. You know, with those figures, if you take 14 events, you divide or 10 million divided by 14 events. You know,
plus the 3 shows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a big sum of money. You know, let's look at that. And I think it's fairly safe to say that you know, the athletes in Power Slap, a lot of them, you know, could really use that money. And I think it's changed a lot of the lives of the strikers that have you know, partaked in it. And you know, it's something that wouldn't have happened, and these opportunities wouldn't happen for people. We've seen them come into Power Slap from a wide, diverse background into the sport. You know, we've seen guys like, you know, Vern the Mechanic, who we talk about all the time, but you know, we see you know, a number of guys that have, you know, had troubled past. We've seen guys that have come, you know, or even aerospace engineers like Isaiah Quiones. So we've seen a wide, diverse background of individuals. We see, you know, Dumpling, a farmer. I mean, you've seen the video of Dumpling, you know, over in Serbia. You know, I don't even know how you classify that.
Siberia. Say it with me. Siberia.
Yeah, the whole point of what I was getting at, though, is, I mean, I think you'd call that, you know,
that's the slums. Oh, that's the slum.
Or living. 100%. So, you know, changing the lives, giving people these opportunities, getting in the spotlight, you know, good or bad, going viral. I always talk about, the guy on the offensive side going viral. We rarely talk about the defensive side of the guy that goes viral as well. And,
Bikini was a great example of that this last time, right? With the whole eye
100%.
thing, and is that it? Evian went, obviously coincidence that it involves Bikini also, but Evian went viral for that as well. Trying to think, what are some other good defensive ones that I can think of?
The guy that you just pinned it up. The guy that you just pinned it up. He went viral for the defense.
His defensive technique went viral?
Not the technique, but what led up to it. And then the lack of technique went viral.
Oh, the flinch and the reshot is what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yelling.
Pussy!
The yelling.
Pussy! Is that why they stopped the season?
No.
This is kind of a hot take. I mean,
what are you going to say? I'm going to say no, to be honest. I think, let's be real. To bring that many guys into Vegas, the production that goes around that, the turnaround times, the amount of money, time, effort, energy, TKO, big group, getting into boxing, it's pretty well, I'm not sure it's official or unofficial at this point, but they're going to be going into boxing and doing, a same style of road to the title for boxing. There's definitely a lot of other, productions going on. The UFC Apex is seemingly transforming into, the WWE or NXT training facility, lack of venues and official home for Power Slap. I think there's a lot of things that kind of go into it. We see obviously Dana White Contender Series as well. And, the lineage of, champions and top ranked guys, seemingly outpassing the guys that, are coming from tough these days. And so I think just the change of the marketplace. And I think it just gives different, recruits and ways to be a little bit leaner on how you do these recruits. And I think it just opens up doors for other opportunities. What do you think, Ding?
I think, I don't think there's a point to having guys held up in a house for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Especially when the focus on the show being released is competitive in nature and not entertainment. So majority of the happenings in the house never actually make it to the finished product. And I think if that's the case, then you get a lot more bang for your buck. The budget's much smaller, and the workload is when you have these guys who are just going for this training camp, guys and girls, excuse me, that are going to these training camps with athletes who have had success in the sport. And I think if you took Robert Trujillo, take all the champions, but I'll just use the three that have kind of been really incorporated into the camps often. Babyface Blackburn, Brandon Bordeaux, and Robert Trujillo, they have three wildly different styles and wildly different histories of success. And so I think when these guys and girls debut, they've had success off of just having that didactic training for the 2 days in Vegas, plus whatever they do on their own. So is it necessary to have guys come out of the house after X amount of time, having to feed them, having to house them, dealing with the bullshit, right? Like what was the guy's name? Mitch, right? Mitchell Sipe.
Yeah.
Who tried to kick somebody in the head and got kicked out of the house. All that stuff is just unnecessary, right? The Brandon Kerr Chief saga, that's not what they want, because most of that stuff doesn't even make it to the film. Now that did, because that was just ridiculous. These guys fucking hated each other. Yeah. But I think it's just a much cheaper and more effective way to corral talent. And
was Bordeaux on the show or no?
Sorry?
Was Bordeaux on season 2? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He was. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Bordeaux was the season 2 road to title guy. So yeah, I think, and there's also a barrier to entry. So when you look at how many people can just take 2, 3, 4 weeks off of work to say, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas. How many people can take 2 days off of work, right? So there's also that problem. Or I guess it would be 3/4 days because of travel in and out of Vegas. And they also, particularly on the female side, they use a lot of local talent, which is also another cost saver. So yeah, I don't think Power Slap is hurting for money by any means, but I do believe that just from a business sense, why spend the additional money?
For sure. I mean, in a lot of ways, you you do it to create characters, to build storylines, to have the fans fall in love with the actual strikers itself. But I feel like there's really only maybe 5 strikers that I can think of that's really paid off in them doing so across 3 seasons. To be completely honest with you, the guys that have blossomed into the superstars, guys that you really kind of buy it into the vested story. I feel like for a lot of it, I mean, I think it really probably hasn't translated any more or less so than what you would see, kind of doing a bit of, some interviews, watch them fight, etc. I think you can almost get that same character building the same way, just seemingly because we haven't seen those true homegrown blossoming superstars come out as, from the show itself. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I think, McKinney is a guy that his time on the show wasn't good to him. It wasn't until the fight after his first fight off of the show that he started to get his bearings and found those moments that like I said, we all kind of thought he had. Evian Scott never found the moments. He still is trying to figure it all out. Danny Van Heerden's another guy that was hot on the show, and then it all kind of dissipated. I do want to reply to Big Bird here. So, yeah, what I was saying, obviously, kicking the head. Mitchell Sipe got in trouble for something like that on season 1. He got kicked out of the house. We never saw him again. I know, obviously, you guys, you knew him because you were around during that time. But Brandon Kerr and Chief had their issues. I'm clear that those are 2 different instances. I was just saying Mitchell Sipe got into a lot of trouble. I believe he tried to attack a security guard also, or a producer. So he got himself into a lot of trouble. So I was just illustrating the logistical headache as well in housing, guys with a lot of testosterone, and many of them are alphas, and a lot of them fight for a living. So Mitchell Sipe being no exception. But let's see here. So,
and
like I said,
Danny Van Heerden, man, what a weird record, eh? If you go back and look at it, started out 2-0, as part of the house, and then came on to numbered cards, Powerhouse number 6, number 8, with 2 losses back to back. Gets a victory at Powerhouse number 9 over Evian Scott, who you talked about, and then a loss to Kalani. What do you do with a guy like that who's sitting now 3-3? He's just only won 1 of his last 4 matches. Where do you kind of pin him in the roster, and what do you do with him next?
I mean, I'd have to look at the rankings here, so just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll talk through it. I mean, so he's got victories over Jonathan Boone, Cody Vallo, and then Evian Scott. And he's got losses to McKinney Manu, the Crazy Hawaiian, and Kalani. So guys that are currently in the top of the division, he hasn't been able to take out, which would seemingly think at this particular point that Danny Van Heerden has no other choice but to fight back in the ranks. How far back do you go? Or do you think we've seen the last of him? I mean, we know. I mean, he's coming.
No, we haven't seen the last one. No way.
I mean, he's coming up on 2 years. I'm just saying, realistically, let's talk through this. Just, seemingly their fight contracts typically don't take place until after the house. They usually sign new contracts when they get onto the numbered cards. So that would have been February 2024. So seemingly February 2026 when his contract's going to expire.
Assuming he hasn't gotten a new deal.
Correct. Which obviously they don't make public. But usually it's 2 years, 6 fights. It seems to be the standard.
You got 1 versus 3 happening at Abu Dhabi. Kalani's MIA. We don't know what's going on with him. He just had a child, so I don't think he's in the mix at the moment. Dwayne just retired. Juicy's got Zach. He's already competed against Evian, so his options are Slapdog and Micah. There you go. Slapdog and Micah.
Could you give him one of these new guys?
No.
Why not?
That's not fair.
McKinney Manu took on Stephen Rousey.
Yeah, but once he did that, what did he do after that? He went significantly up the rankings and took on Dwayne Crespo. Right off of that. And now he's jumping again after beating Dwayne Crespo to the former champion, number 1 ranked super heavyweight. So he went from no rank to middle of rankings to top of rankings, which is pretty quick. So I think, no, you can't make Danny Van Heerden fight a new guy. Like you could do a Juicy or a Zach, like one fight off of new, but you
Mhm.
cannot do new. That's not fair.
That fight's already been released though, so we know that that's happening.
Correct. But I just mean a guy like that. Danny Van Heerden's been around too long. He's too high in the rankings. He's competed for the championship. There's guys in the rankings that he hasn't fought. You need to give him a ranked fight, especially because it's going to be backwards no matter what. The only other guy that is not listed on here is Slot for Cash. And obviously we have a couple super heavyweights who are making their, entrance into this whole thing here in the near future. But with Hawaiian and Dwayne out of the rankings, that leaves 2 spots. So I think you'll see Slot for Cash back in, and one of these new guys will end up being in the rankings at super heavyweight.
So process of elimination.
9 or 10.
Micah and Lorenzo
Uncle
Flores.
Micah or Slapdog. Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, you look at
if
Uncle
he
Micah.
competes. If he competes. Because he's been in Las Vegas since 13 and 14 and hasn't got a match.
So I'm just saying,
So-
process of elimination. Uncle Micah right now coming off a loss to Juicy. So Uncle Micah,
But not terribly. He
0-2
rocked Juicy.
record.
Remember that. Oh, Cole Smith. That's another guy you could give him. Cole Smith's a guy you can give him. Leon. I'd love to see Leon back. Yeah, I like that. I actually like Danny versus Cole Smith. Wait a second.
So if
Cole
you were to,
technically lost. So I thought Cole won in watching the fight in practice, but he lost. So it's more fair to give him Leon out of those 2 guys. But we haven't heard anything about Leon either, so I don't know. All right, Micah and Slapdog like 1-4 combined. They do not have great records, if I'm
no,
being honest.
I don't think the 1 is even there, to be honest. I think it's 0-4-1.
No, Slapdog beat somebody, I feel like. Didn't he knock Cooper Housley out and get disqualified?
Disqualified, so he lost.
Yeah, and then I feel like he had another match before the Kalani match.
No, he's just the 2. Kalani.
Oh shit!
Remember he hurt his arm on the show, and the words of Donnie Van Heerden,
Yeah.
he bitched out.
Wasn't he fucking with Strickland? Wasn't that him?
Yeah,
He was fucking with Strickland.
so.
Strickland
Yeah.
whooped his ass. Was that him?
Yeah.
Hot take, Corey. This is a good question from the Chief.
Man, I like Hector, dude. Do I gotta take this question?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Hector likes you too, buddy. In case you didn't know. Colton Cole. Thank you, Fat. I appreciate that. Thank you. It was not. I was like, it's not the boxing. I don't remember. It was Colton Cole that fought Strickland and got hurt.
Gotcha.
Florian hurt himself, I think, throwing slaps at the Bob. I think he either tore something or he had an arm injury for sure.
Was it the one in the basement of the house? Even it might have been that, wasn't it? I can't remember.
I don't know if it was the basement or I feel like I remember at the Apex.
Okay.
You see the UFC mat,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Yeah, I fucking hurt myself." Blah 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, answer the question though. Don't try to dodge it, man.
Yeah. I don't think we see Hector Lombard in Power Slap. Much as I think it'd be fun and entertaining, I don't think we see him. Last I spoke to him, he hasn't received a call as of yet for a contract in Power Slap. We've heard, some of the athletes that they really like from the camp got calls the very next day. Some of the athletes were getting calls texts while they were still on the plane, heading back to their hometowns. I don't think there's anything imminent. Obviously, we know Hector Lombard at the age of 47 years old isn't a spring chicken in any regards. Father time isn't reversible. And if he hasn't got a call yet, I think the more it goes on, becomes less and less. So I don't think we see him here in the relatively short future, to be honest. As much as I'd like to see it, let's be real. And I mean, also, let's talk about it. He also had a TKO in dirty boxing, less than a month ago as well. So not anytime soon.
All right. Who do you guys have? Hintz versus Marshall. Unfortunately, it would be improper for us to pick matches. because we respect everyone. And so I'll take Marshall and Corey will take hints, and I'll tell you what I think you need to look out for here. The number one question for Stunt Marshall is, can he take a hit? He hasn't taken a hit yet, and that's always going to be the question, especially when you're dealing with a guy like AJ. I will say what I think Stunt Marshall has on his side is it didn't look like there was much on his swing, and he did what he did. What he doesn't have on his side is that his opponent was a debutante who hadn't competed in Power Slap and definitely had not held a championship. So a lot of questions, but keep in mind at 85, AJ hasn't looked exactly the same as he looked at 205. So, and he's been off for a long time. Stunt Marshall competed a few months ago, but he's never taken a slap. So take that for what you'll take it for. But Corey, what are we looking at for the former champion?
Well, let me tell you, Mr. One Jabroni Ding.
Let me tell you something, brother.
My man, Anthony Hintz, a.k.a. AJ Static Hints. You think he's a dead battery, but let me tell you, his last contest was actually a no contest. And he's fought some of the best in the light heavyweight division. He's taken on the likes of one Vern Cathy, Russell Rivera, and the legend, Frank Holland, the first ever light heavyweight champion of the world. He's not only a pretty face with little tiny hands, with incredible precision. They called him the dead battery. You can't knock the cells when they ain't in the noggin.
Bro, this guy.
What's
in your cup, man?
The chin. I don't have
What's in your cup? What's in your cup, dude?
I don't have one. But Static, phenomenal defense. We've seen the guy go up there. And, we've heard him talk before. Getting hit in the head is like being on an acid trip. And
this is a good take. Here, look, they're giving you a layup.
Come on, man.
They're giving you a layup. This is a good point.
I don't think it matters. I think both these guys get hit. I don't think it matters.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if AJ Hints, hold on, let me make sure this is clear. Clip this, guys, because this guy needs to get it. So if AJ Hints goes first, you're saying you're confident Stunt Marshall takes that shot, even though we haven't seen him take a shot, and AJ has knocked even Russell Rivera out.
Yes, sir.
That's your assessment right here, right now. You're going to say
this gets out of first round. Yes.
Okay.
Regardless of coin toss.
Wow. Hot take. Okay. You believe in Stunt Marshall. That's amazing. All right. I'm not saying I disagree, but it is a bold prediction to make for somebody who's not taking a shot. I'll just say that. Because when was the last time we had this issue? Vern Cathy. Vern Cathy went a few matches without taking a shot. And when he took a shot, what happened? You remember? It was against Alan Klingbeil. He did not win that match. Spoiler.
Vern the last one? I can't think now.
Vern's probably the last one the one that I can think of. I'm sure that there's been others that have gone. That definitely have been, because we've had these conversations on the show where it's like, you got your win, but you didn't get hit. Is any part of you disappointed that you didn't get hit? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But I think Vern's probably the most prolific because the first time he took a shot, it did not go well.
Was Luke Simonds also in that conversation?
Well, no, because Luke went to decision with Alan on the show. So
Okay.
He was in that conversation for Caesar, but he wasn't in that conversation for – no, bullshit. He took a shot from Caesar. Yeah, we knew because Luke had went through the adversity. I remember, and I was like, that I'd rather see that than no shot at all. If you don't take a shot, I got nothing to go with. If you've taken a shot and you can come back from it, it's different.
Yeah.
But great point to whoever Peace and Love is. I do think the coin toss is going to be meaningful, even though my partner here doesn't think so. But he's Canadian, so what he says doesn't matter as much as what I say. So anyway, 3 events. I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm nervous because, like I said, the shelf life of every moment is severely shortened by the next event. And I think you don't ever circle back to it. It's not like you go through the 3 events and then November you ride those 3 events like a cycle. I think that the second event eats the first event, and the third event eats the second event, and then you ride the third event until it wanes off, and then it's dead silent again. So that's my concern, especially the week. The week, like, so the 3 weeks is not bad, right? October 3rd to October 24th. It's not terrible, but the week, oh man, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough sell. And then on top of that, Halloween is that evening. Not that there's any like crazy thing that comes into the news cycle because of Halloween, but it is something that people will go do that evening. So in America or North America, this will take place during the day, probably like noonish, like it normally does. In Saudi Arabia's evening time. And then in the evening, we will all go out with our family, friends, children, whatever the case is, to celebrate Halloween. And so I think everything will sort of have like a decent drop off.
Let me play devil's advocate to this, though, because do we believe that Power Slap is a mainstream sport that has the attentions of the masses regardless of who's in it? Or do we believe that Power Slap is relative to the strikers that are in it and the virality of the outlandish, crazy knockouts that come along with it? And the reason why I bring this up is that being events back to back to back, it's going to put a ton of new content out there. The casual follower that comes along. I mean, in sales, they talk about you have to get in front of a consumer 7 times before they take action. By having the large amount of information, is this going to take somebody from being a clip watcher only to having them click onto the page, having them follow, having them watch additional videos? Is this amount of content going to convert that casual fan into a much more loyal fan?
I have no reason to say no, if I'm being honest, because it's a market, right? Abu Dhabi, we haven't seen since last year in October. Saudi, we haven't seen since January. I think Abu Dhabi has greater prospects for growth and reach, but if it dominates your news feed for a month, theoretically, those touch points are valuable. But I mean, all of that, we'll have data to support that and prove that in November. So, that'll remain to be seen.
Yeah.
But Wes's question's been sitting up here for a bit. Any word on the women's belt? Do you guys see Paige coming back in October sometime? Unfortunately, I do not think Paige will be back in October. I don't. I'm pretty confident in saying that. Her husband has a UFC fight October 4th.
Yeah, but you weren't saying that they might do the same fight week.
Yeah, but that was before we kind of got
we know by now.
cards and because we know who's competing at the next 2 at least. There's no word on an event or the main event, for 17 publicly anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna say no. Paige won't be back in October. But I think we said it here. I think Hollywood and Ellie likely has implications for the future of the division. Because I don't think there's any other flyweight matches that are happening between 2 people that would make any sense to go to Paige, right? Obviously, with Mikey losing that match in June, it threw a wrench in things. If Ellie Dempsey is involved in the match, I can't help but wonder or, think that she's on the trajectory that Mikey was originally on. And so once that shakes out, I think we'll have more answers. So I do believe probably by the end of the year, we'll see something happen in the flyweight division. But I don't think it'll be in the month of October. So thank you for the question.
It's funny you say that. I mean, we haven't heard anything of Michael Michelle Brown in a little bit. Obviously, she had a freak accident in the gym that I think kind of got swept under the rug a little bit. Safe to say that obviously there was, security camera footage of it put up, but it didn't really seem to be too much of it made. Seemed like a very brutal injury, broken nose, etc. I wonder if that's still holding her back or holding her out of Power Slap at this particular time, because surprisingly, for someone who they seemingly, like having on cards, even though she came off a loss, I'm surprised we haven't heard more rumors swirling around her in regards to a return sometime in October. Maybe you
I
should
do think that injury. I think that injury is probably more significant than it was let on, and I think the fact that it didn't do rounds was by design. And I will give Michelle Brown a lot of credit. She is great at keeping things under wraps. If she would like to keep it private, it'll stay private. And so, we wish her well, obviously, but I do believe that injury was significant enough to be the reason why she's not involved in any of these talks. And I do also believe she won't be the next person to fight Paige Van Zandt. Is October the last events for this year? Can we see something in December? We actually expect there to be more events this year. We set a minimum of 3. With the 3 happening in October, there's almost no way that that's the last event. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit because UFC and, well, I guess at this moment it's just UFC, but it'll be BJJ and it'll be boxing as well. They usually take a break from mid-December to mid-January. So that means the next Power Slap card is at the very earliest, the end of January. There's no way they do 3 cards back to back and then go back to a 3-month layoff, especially when they're saying they're doing 12 events next year. If you do an event at the end of January, you now got 11 events to squeeze in the other 11 months, and you're pushing to the end of each month, which wouldn't make sense because, again, like I said, they usually cut off at the end of December, or excuse me, the middle of December. So I think that they'll probably do 1. I actually think we could also see a second event before the end of the year.
Yeah. So, I mean, rewind back to the beginning of the year, we heard both, Dana White as well as Frank confirm that there was going to be 4 events held in Las Vegas, 1 event per quarter. If my math serves me right, I believe we were March. We came back in June. We know October, so there's 3 events. So seemingly we should get an event in December, I would believe, as you talked about, early December. I think it's usually around the second week of December. We usually get that numbered card for UFC back as well. The debut of, the BJJ was also that same time. I don't think the UFC has planned out that far in advance. No, as of right now, just November 22nd in Qatar which is a fight night. So there's not a numbered card there. Before that, numbered card in New York for 222. So yeah, 223 would be kind of that next event that they talk about. And
323.
Sorry, 323, correct. And that could be the next one in line. Makes sense.
Any chance Rivero is on one of the October cards? Corey, I'll let you answer this.
Russell Rivero. I do not think so. To be quite honest, I don't know where he would fit in for a matchup. If it's not Turp, if it's not Wolverine, I don't know who else he'd fight.
I plead the 5th.
All right. You know something I don't. Oh, good.
But yeah, I would be shocked if there's nothing November and December. We didn't even talk about it, man. 12 events next year. That is fucking incredible. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So how do you think that, like, what's the frequency and how does it happen? Is it
Monthly.
1 per calendar month? I think 1 per calendar month, or do you think, well, let me ask you this though. If they can pull this off, which they will pull it off, well, we can debate the merit and the degree of the success and all that stuff. Are they going to batch it the same way when they go overseas? Are you going to get 2 events back to back with some gaps? Like, or do you, I mean, we know they start the year typically in Saudi. Could we see 2 events very early on back to back, end of July, beginning of February, back in Vegas in March? Like, what do you think?
I don't believe we go overseas in Q1 of 26. I believe.
But Dana's talked Qatar too, man. And I just
said but I don't think that's Q1. I think Qatar. I think it's very likely November 21st is Power Slap 18. I'll say that right now. That's a hot take. I don't know any details on that. I'm just being honest. I believe, my full belief is, because it's the second time the Qatar was supposed to happen for UFC in May, and we thought that might be the place. It fell apart, but Qatar has been publicly announced for November. the week after the UFC event in Madison Square Garden. So I do believe there's a high likelihood that Power Slap 18 takes place November 21st in Qatar.
Mm-hmm.
December could be a Vegas card, could not be a Vegas card because that schedule is not out yet. But I know that there's something weird happening at the end of the year. I don't know if it's that the numbered card, if the break cuts off too early and the numbered card can't happen.
But weird
There's
in which
something
way?
like that, though. I believe there's a heavy chance that December does not have a numbered card for UFC. That's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that's the chatter. So I think Q1, we don't go overseas. I think we debut in a new state. I don't believe we go overseas by March of 2026.
Which
I
state?
just think we go to a new state. I can't tell you what state. I have no idea.
Oh. Well, I can tell you this. So when I was in Vegas, when I was in Vegas, I had a conversation with Mark Smith. And I asked him what he thought about, New Orleans and Louisiana and all that stuff. And, I asked him about some of the other commissions. And remember, we've seen it sitting there in the media room and having some of the other representatives from the commissions that have come in and observed. And there was 3 commissions that he spoke about that have attended Power Slap events to see how the proceedings run. And that was California.
Let me try. So I know California was there.
Correct.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
And Texas.
Correct. Those are the 3. I think
Oklahoma's a weird one because we haven't heard much about that. We hear about Florida and Texas.
I think that's the dark horse, to be completely honest with you. I think Oklahoma is a dark horse that we could very well see in the first half of the year. Obviously, I mean, if they can align with the UFC, I think that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm ignorant to what cities are in Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, is that a real thing?
Attaboy.
Here we go. I know Oklahoma for the wrong reasons, thing that went boom. But anyways, that's all I know. I guess they have the thunder as well. So another sound effect.
All right, so let me ask you this.
But you let me finish. But I think Oklahoma, I think that's a squeaker that we get in there. And I think it also gets pushed because of the success that Louisiana had.
I mean, it all has to be in tandem with the UFC event. That's my belief. Like, Vegas is a safe space to do alone over the fight night. But it seems like, for whatever reason, well, I don't want to say for whatever reason, it's kind of common sense, right? You get people excited about the fight week and make Power Slap a part of that week because the MMA crowd has not been embracing to the Power Slap sport, to the promotion, to any of it. So if you give them that fight week and they're like, fuck it, I'm going to go check it out. And then they go and they fall in love. Generally is how it works because it's incredible. But I think you get 12 events in 26. I'm pretty confident in saying 4 of those events, I believe, take place in the United States outside of Las Vegas. 2 of those events take place overseas. Nah. Let's go 3. Let's go 3 events overseas, and then you got 5 in Vegas. 1 is going to be, if the Fountain Blue one doesn't get done this year, it'll get done early next year. And then I think they switched to a venue more like Xavier University Convocation Center.
When is that out? Do we know when that?
It was a 5 event deal. First one was Power Slap 10, second one was 12, 13, 6, to be 15, and they have one more.
One more.
And okay. I don't think they renewed the deal because
really
that venue's just not. It feels like it was perfect, but once you go to the Convocation Center, you realize that is perfect, and I think that that's what they'll aspire to do in the future here with Power Slap in Las Vegas.
Let me tell you, free 99 is perfect, buddy.
You think it's at the Apex?
No, I think Fontainebleau being a sponsor, I think steps up to the plate and gives you a venue at next to no charge, if not potentially pay you a site fee.
They do. That's been publicized. They pay them a significant site fee.
So that's what I'm saying.
Any venue is going to pay them a significant site fee because they're bringing a crowd.
No, bro.
That's why there's a deal.
100% not. They bring them so that you can get to the casino. That's the reason for it. If there wasn't a casino attached to it, not a hope in hell. So
okay, so you think we stay at Fontainebleau?
I do think it gets extended. Similar to how the Rumble deal seemingly got extended as well for, I don't know, 3 or 4 extra events without a deal.
Yeah, it was like a pro bono type. Well, not pro bono. It was event by event, or it was it was event by event.
I think it gets extended. To be honest with you, as long as Fontaine wants to keep paying for it, I don't think there's any other reason. We know very early on they talked about, they like the high class prestige nature of it, or at least Dana and they did, and I think Dana and his buddies love going there. But I think that also plays into it. All the influencers, etc., gives them a high-end experience. Accommodations included for all these influencers. All this stuff that kind of goes along with it. I think they've got a lot to give, and I think it's in the hands of Fontaine. But I might be speaking on my ass when I say this, but if you check the last public records of the quarter and annual reports that Fontaine has had, they've been losing money left, right, and center. I think it's upwards of, I don't know, $3.5 million a day or something they're losing right now on that property. So maybe some physical cuts to their budget change things otherwise, but I think it's in the hands of Fontaine as long as they want it, not vice versa.
That's actually surprising to hear, because they do attract some pretty crazy partners, right? They did the WWE during WrestleMania week. I think they did a lot of activations
for it. It's all paid for though. Like I think they're stepping up to the plate, contributing money to it. I mean, you go there, go to Fontaine tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and you might as well have a bowling alley to play in, because there hasn't been a lot of people there up until this point. That's just not me saying it. It's true, man. Their counts are down. I'm not even a big player there, and they're sending me offers of $100 room nights and $50 food credits and $100 in free slot machines, and I've barely even played anything there. I'm sure you're getting them too.
Yeah.
So the threshold for free comps from there is very, very low.
Yeah. So I don't think the deal gets extended. Personally, I don't. I think we end at 5. And I think we move to a venue that is more complimentary of what this is, which I think was insightful from the experience in New Orleans. Now, but 12 events, I mean, you can't underscore how big of a deal that is on a number of different wavelengths. The first being, we never project this far out how many events we're going to have in a year. They've never been this precise. We knew that the Fontainebleau deal was 4 events in 25, right? But again, that is going to end up transitioning to 26 just to finish that off. But so we knew those 4, but we didn't know anything beyond that. He's guaranteeing, he said it on the record, 12 events. So what did he say last year? I think he said probably 6 or 7. And I think it was in an interview with us. He said, I'll probably do 7 events, maybe more. Actually, maybe it wasn't an interview with us, but he did do an interview where he said, I'll probably put on 7 events. Or I think the presenter, the interviewer said something like that. And he's like, I think I'll do more. So we're at what right now? 1, 2, 3, 6. We'll be at 6 by the end of October. I predict at least 1 more after that. So 7 for the year. Pretty in line with what they predicted. So to say 12, that's ratcheting it up.
I think they predicted higher. They said that it would be the most events that we've had yet. And I think we were anticipating. I feel like we were anticipating closer to that 10 in terms of events we get this year.
I think you and I, man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to find this, but I think on this show, probably end of last year, early this year, I think we reached a consensus of 8. I think was the number we landed on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't waste your time and go back and try and find that.
Sounds like a job for South Africa.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, let's wrap it up, my man. I mean, we've been going now for an hour and 40 minutes. Anybody who's made it this far, we appreciate you as always, whether you're watching live or you're watching the playback, whether you're doing it on Facebook or you are doing it on YouTube. We appreciate you greatly. Us 2 knuckleheads back, same place, same time next week. That's 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock in the East. Ding. Until next time, stay good, my man.